It's easy to ask a man's job or favorite food, but these surface-level questions reveal nothing about his true character. So to find out whether he's genuinely serious about getting to know you or not, try these questions on your first date. I'm Vernon. In this video, I'll share 4 powerful questions you should ask a man early on, not to interrogate him or put him on the spot, but to open the door to real intimacy, respect, and the kind of clarity that saves your heart from wasted time. After 60, dating isn't about playing games or trying to impress someone with a younger version of yourself. It's about discovering, with wisdom, courage, and the confidence that comes from knowing who you are, what truly matters to you and to him. You've earned the right to ask meaningful questions. Before we start, like and subscribe if you want more elderly wisdom for building genuine love, self-worth, and unforgettable connection. Trust me, we're just getting started. The first question may seem simple, but it opens a window into his inner world and tells you far more than surface answers ever could.
Number 1. What does a fulfilling relationship look like to you? Now, I know what you're thinking. Vernon, isn't that a little intense for a second or third date? But here's the thing. You're not 25 anymore, hoping to figure things out as you go. You're a woman who knows her worth, and you deserve to know if you're both heading in the same direction before your heart gets invested. It started with a simple coffee date. Liana, 62, recently widowed after 35 years of marriage. She's sitting across from Andre at a quiet coffee shop, her hands slightly trembling, not from the caffeine, but from the vulnerability of dating again. When she asked him this question, she expected some generic answer about companionship or having fun together. Instead, Andre leaned forward and said, "You know, Liana, I've been thinking about this a lot since my divorce. A fulfilling relationship isn't about finding someone to fill the empty spaces in your life. It's about 2 whole people choosing to build something beautiful together. Someone who celebrates your independence while also being your soft place to land." Liana's eyes filled with tears, not because it was a perfect answer, but because it was his answer. Honest, thoughtful, and revealing a man who'd done the inner work. Listen carefully to how any man responds to this question. Does he talk about mutual respect, emotional intimacy, shared adventures, or growing old together? Does he mention supporting each other's dreams or being teammates through life's challenges? Or does his answer focus primarily on what he wants to receive? Someone to take care of him, make him feel young again, or simply provide companionship on his terms? A man who can articulate what fulfillment truly means has spent time thinking about love beyond the surface level. He understands that at this stage of life, you're not just looking for someone to pass time with. You're looking for someone to share your remaining chapters with purpose and joy. They've been together 3 years now, and Margaret still credits that question with showing him his heart from the very beginning. She learned that he valued partnership over dependency, growth over comfort, and authentic connection over convenient companionship. Save this video. You'll want to come back to these questions when you need them most. But knowing his vision is just the start. The next question, well, it separates the boys from the men. Number 2. How do you handle disagreements or conflict? Okay, let's get brutally honest for a moment. At 60 plus, you've probably survived more than your fair share of difficult conversations. Maybe you've dealt with a spouse who shut down every time things got tense, or someone who turned every disagreement into World War III. You know what happens when people can't navigate conflict with maturity and respect. This question isn't about starting a fight. It's about discovering whether he has the emotional tools to handle real life. Because here's the truth. If you can't disagree respectfully, you can't have a real relationship. Everything stays surface level and resentment builds like pressure in a sealed jar. When you ask this question, pay attention to everything, not just his words, but his body language, his tone, even the examples he chooses to share. Does he get defensive just talking about conflict? Does he blame his ex-wife for always starting arguments? Or can he speak thoughtfully about learning to communicate better over the years? Red flags fly when a man says things like, "I just avoid conflict until it blows over," or "I don't like drama, so I just walk away." What he's really telling you is that he's never learned to navigate the deeper waters of intimate relationship. When you need to discuss something important, finances, family boundaries, future plans, he'll disappear emotionally. On the flip side, be wary of the man who seems to thrive on conflict, who talks about winning arguments or putting people in their place. That's not emotional maturity. That's someone who sees relationships as battlegrounds rather than partnerships. What you're looking for is something in between. A man who can say, "I've learned that most disagreements happen because we both care deeply about something. I try to listen first, understand what's really underneath the surface, and then find a way forward that honors both of our needs." Or perhaps, "I used to get defensive when I felt criticized, but I've learned that usually my partner is trying to help me understand something important about how my actions affect them." In the wise words of Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. How a man talks about handling conflict will tell you exactly how he'll handle the inevitable bumps in your relationship. Believe what he shows you. The beautiful thing about asking this question is that it also demonstrates your own emotional intelligence. You're showing him that you're someone who values healthy communication and isn't afraid to address important topics. You're setting the standard for how you want to be treated. Now, once you know he can handle life's inevitable challenges, here's where the conversation gets really beautiful.
Number 3. What are you most grateful for in your life right now? Take a breath. This question is going to surprise you. Not because it's complicated, but because it's so disarmingly simple that it catches people completely off guard. And in that unguarded moment, you'll glimpse something precious: his authentic heart. Gratitude is like a window into someone's soul. It reveals their emotional intelligence, their capacity for joy, their ability to find meaning in both triumph and struggle. A man who can speak genuinely about what he appreciates in life is someone who's developed the emotional maturity to see gifts even after experiencing loss, disappointment, and heartbreak. Think about this. By the time we reach 60, We've all faced our share of challenges: death, divorce, health scares, career disappointments, children who broke our hearts, dreams that didn't unfold as planned. How someone talks about gratitude tells you whether they've learned to find light in the darkness or if they're still carrying bitterness like a heavy stone. When you ask this question, listen for specificity and authenticity. Beware of generic answers like "my health" or "my family" delivered without genuine feeling. Those might be true, but they're also what people think they're supposed to say. You're looking for something deeper, gratitude that comes from real reflection and genuine appreciation. You want to hear something like, "I'm grateful for my morning coffee ritual, not just the coffee, but those quiet 20 minutes before the world wakes up when I can think about the day ahead and appreciate being alive to see it." Or perhaps, "I'm grateful that my relationship with my adult children has evolved into genuine friendship. We went through some tough years, but now they call me because they want to, not because they have to." Listen for gratitude that includes growth through difficulty. An emotionally mature man might say, "I'm actually grateful for my divorce, as painful as it was. It forced me to examine who I really am and what I want from life. I'm a better man now because of that experience." This kind of gratitude reveals someone who can find meaning in life's full spectrum of experiences. He's not waiting for perfect circumstances to be happy. He's learned to appreciate what he has while still growing and dreaming. Contrast this with men who struggle to identify anything they're genuinely grateful for, or who can only focus on material possessions. If someone can't find gratitude in their current life, they're likely still stuck in disappointment or entitlement, neither of which makes for a joyful, appreciative partner. Gratitude truly is the window through which love grows. When someone can appreciate life's everyday miracles, they're much more likely to appreciate you, not just in the honeymoon phase, but through all the ordinary, beautiful moments that make up a real relationship. What's one thing you're grateful for in this chapter of your life? Share it in the comments below. Let's create a gratitude chain that lifts us all up. To truly understand someone's character, you need to see how they've grown from life's inevitable challenges. And that's exactly what the next question is designed to reveal.
Number 4. What's a life lesson you've learned the hard way? As the poet Rumi understood so beautifully, the wound is the place where the light enters you. This question invites a man to share not just his victories and accomplishments, but his growth through difficulty. And that reveals everything about his character, his humility, and his readiness for mature love. By the time we reach this stage of life, we've all made mistakes. We've all had moments where we look back and think, if only I had known then what I know now. The question isn't whether someone has learned hard lessons, it's whether they're willing to own those lessons and grow from them. A man who can speak honestly about a mistake he's made or a difficult lesson he's learned is showing you several beautiful qualities: genuine humility, self-reflection, emotional courage, and the wisdom that comes from taking responsibility for his choices. These are the qualities that make someone truly ready for mature,
authentic love. Julia discovered this in the most moving way possible. She was 63, had been widowed after 40 years of happy marriage, and dating felt like learning a foreign language. But Mark, a fellow widower she'd met through online dating, had a gentleness that made her feel safe enough to be vulnerable again. When she asked him about hard-earned lessons, Mark was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that changed everything. "I was so focused on being the provider, the problem solver, the strong one, that I forgot to be the present one. My kids are adults now, and they love me, but I missed so many bedtime stories, so many heart-to-heart talks, so many chances to just be their dad instead of their problem fixer." His voice grew softer. "I can't get those moments back, but I learned that presence is the greatest gift you can give someone you love. If I'm blessed enough to love again, I want to show up completely, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, with my whole heart." That vulnerability, that willingness to own his regrets and commit to doing better, showed Julia a man who'd done the deep inner work. He wasn't trying to impress her with a perfect image. He was sharing his real growth, his authentic transformation. Contrast this with men who can't think of any significant mistakes they've made, or who blame others for everything that's gone wrong in their lives. If someone can't take responsibility for their own growth and learning, they're not ready to be a true partner to anyone. Watch out for answers that sound rehearsed or self-serving. Stories designed to make them look good rather than reveal genuine insight. You want authenticity, not performance. The most beautiful thing about this question is that it creates space for real intimacy. When someone shares a genuine lesson learned through difficulty, they're trusting you with their vulnerability. And that trust becomes the foundation for everything meaningful that follows. Share this video with a friend who's also navigating love at this beautiful stage of life. We all deserve relationships built on honesty, growth, and authentic connection. And when you ask these questions, you're not just getting answers, you're building the foundation for real connection. Now, let's recap these 4 powerful questions that can transform your early dating conversations. What does a fulfilling relationship look like to you? Reveals his vision and emotional maturity. How do you handle disagreements or conflict? Shows you his ability to navigate real-life challenges with grace. What are you most grateful for in your life right now? Opens a window into his heart and his capacity for joy. What's a life lesson you've learned the hard way? Demonstrates his humility and commitment to growth. These aren't interrogation tactics, they're invitations to deeper connection. And here's what I want you to remember. At this beautiful stage of your life, you don't need to impress anyone or pretend to be someone you're not. You just need to show up as yourself. Ask these questions with genuine curiosity and kindness, and listen with an open heart. That's the beginning of everything real. You've lived long enough to know what matters. You've loved, perhaps lost, and learned. Now you have the wisdom to ask the right questions and the confidence to listen carefully to the answers. Trust that wisdom. It will guide you to the love you deserve. I always say, and as life has taught all of us who've lived long enough to know, the best relationships aren't built on perfection. They're built on two people who are brave enough to be real with each other. Which of these questions would you ask first? What has made the biggest difference in your dating journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights that help you date with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Because true love at any age always starts with true conversation. Your next video is waiting. Let's keep building the love story you deserve. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching my video.